a love that's never failing. Let mercy fall on me. Everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of the Savior, the hope of nations. Savior.
This is Chariot.
Yamao Akwaba and the TEXTALK so Chariot TV so Mijidi se Nyankopon adom ohoye yeso so erade adom yehoye na eyeye eniji se eneso so yenu edi ehyiamu na yabom esuade botaye no eye se yebeba benya Nyankopon asem ho ntiase ye na aboa yen akwantu a eretu asase so a yebotaye ne se yebobobra a ebeso onu Nyankopon ni ede and munyam nyina ma ne dey no na yadesua mu TEXTALK so far topic I share the Bible pempenso a yedro ne yehwe studies into the books of the Bible, and then specifically about drew the book of Revelations 2 weeks ago ni fiti ase yahwe no first and then second time and ne ne prince so ye to yadesua ne so ewo studies into the book of Revelation. Enti meje nyasa akwanya iso ada ahwefo ni atiefo abre biara mobeka ye ho wo TEXTALK so over all these years ema yesuade megidi se yesuane ma bebre ewo adwumadi yeso abebre so ye nima yebesua ade aka ho nti me hyewo nkran se study wo the values and then the importance of this broadcast no emrani so say ya na yebe hyewo nkran so be share to all the social media platforms ama for France so ababe kan ye ho ama yetimi asua ade abom na yekoya desua ne so brother Shadrack kan ye ho na wotwetwe mu ema yehwe the book of Revelations na the mekai wa desua ne mu ne say he emphasized on the numerous interpretation ways amanfo esifaso literature esa enwoma yimu oboba ko say ebi fa ne say is a literal book the actually and this is opposed to Revelation chapter 1 or stating categorically say the words any city is symbolic and see you who says in church no any day and woman and kasa kind of and yes and it be so a church remove say near my what trading in a futuristic that's dispensational premillennialism muchre emu edukosi se sani emenyi na besi dache as opposed to book no trade say niema what training na ye niema etwa come to pass very shortly sana ngoma no so extra ye ho and I from so church mu we have the preterist view almost so say oh the wakani nyina ebemu John Mren so nipa no onimu in AD 70 Nemo kind nyina ebemu, and this is also opposed to even the period of writing of the book you share no last time Sempakanika say likely in between AD 90 to AD 100 even after AD 70 there were still some forms of persecution and a Christopher no go through it. Sir, addition betray ya so say the way the book is interpreted can actually cause a lot of confusion. Emma understanding into the book no quote name. It's the beginning say and addition last week ya did bury a Sempakanika say and the symbols that the symbolic part of the book of Revelation no ama yesunya de free was said you can say apocalyptic literature no gidi say and obetire mu ama yehu enti wo kan ho a gidi say na lessons no bekwa wi no na yafa niema bebre ewo mu sempakani Shadrack ewo ye mfimfin chi brother Shadrack ye mawo akwaba e de aba TEXTALK so
yo mejo so na on to say
ready adom me ho ye gidi say on so ho ye
yakopando me ho ye papa
ye da nyankopon ase.
Yes sir.
So today our expectation is we are looking at the symbols just as uh, you promised last week, getting to the end of our lessons. No,
Mm-hmm.
Uma here for Aquabano, a bit me if it's Adiciano.
That's it. Me fax akɔyɛ na yɛna for ase Joe na akwanya hodo a yɛnya ɛwɔ yɛn adesua nyinaa mu no ade baako ɛna ɛsɛ yɛhyɛ ne nso yɛpɛ sɛ yɛte Awurade asɛm no ase ɛyie nti yɛkeka kɔ yɛn anim no na yɛkeka kɔ sɛ Joe deɛ yɛsua ho adeɛ no yɛbɛtumi ate aseɛ yie na yɛde ayɛ adwuma nti no me gidi ye say people are learning, and if they are learning, that is a good thing. Ebon pai say erade nam so ebebie na adwum bebree wo nneema hodo a jo yesua ewo platform yi eso. Yes, and then no ye hwɛ the symbols ahodo. Na jo in the book of Revelation, the symbols na ewo mu no ebi numbers, ebi other symbols nti no yɛbɛhwɛ dodo no a yɛbɛtumi na one thing I will be doing and sɛ me no wobɛkɔ Old Testament no mu so ahu na kyerɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ wɔ ha na yɛakɔhwɛ wɔ ha na to give you a little recap of what we have studied no Joe yɛsi the book no yɛ the book of Apocalypse. Now if it is Apocalypse a na kyerɛ sɛ a book of symbols and signs. Now, me kyerɛ last week ne say Joe, during that time of intertestamental period, no, they had a way of writing. Joe said, what kind of book be to say? Minims ana what in the one Patrick K. Kwakubo di nante de oti Shakespeare.
Yeah.
A name or church room. And some now or tronibu honoma Joe symbolic and some no. And yet one watch right? So that is the idea of the book of Revelation. It offer who symbols na all cano na fe ultimate ete do pese or no ase. Now Joe, people have made arguments say the book was written concerning the coming of Christ in AD 70. And they try to link some of the points in Matthew 24, no? Say, Jesus cast beba no be destroy Jerusalem in the temple, no? The book is about that. Now, you to was now dream logically it makes no sense for the book to be in that regard. The internet make us Joe book no, right? King Kamame Kakra, Revelation chapter 1, the verse 4, no, what's it saying?
Revelation chapter 1, verse number 4.
Mm-hmm.
John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace to you and peace from him who is and who was and who is to come, and from the 7 spirits who are before his throne.
80. When you think about it, me pacho, or say book no, or try to come out
To the 7 churches.
it is our 7 churches we no. Say or try to come out our 7 churches we are. Nature say Joe, there's no way say it's about Jerusalem. Cause
People in
who
Jerusalem.
who try bibia koma or more Jerusalem. Now they are called Asia. 7 churches in Asia mine. How does that benefit Omo Jerusalem?
Maybe an Asia might not also say symbolic.
So when you try to interpret the book that way, like in a way, you are not doing justice to it. Not must say. Clearly, the book is telling us how the 7 churches in Asia. And Joe, why is he sending it to these 7 churches? Because they are being persecuted, they are facing persecution. And the persecution that they are being faced with, no, Joe, is spread out throughout the text. Now, I'm about 4 or 3 texts now, kind of verse 9, chapter 1, verse 9, chapter 2, verse 10 to 13, and then chapter 3, verse 10. Let's start with chapter 1, verse 9.
I, John, both your brother and companion in the tribulation and kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ, was on the island that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ. That's verse 9.
The verse 9 is telling us he was at Patmos for what?
For the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Good. But before that, or can I say then? Or John and what?
Brother
A brother
companion
and a companion in what?
Tribulation.
Tribulation. So they were in trouble, they were in persecution. And so John is clearly telling us, Joe, he was in this trouble. He was in this problem of a persecution. And if he was in the problem of a persecution there, then we are talking about people who were being persecuted. This time around, it's not the Jews persecuting Christians. This has gone to a global setting where the emperor was persecuting Christians. You have chapter 2, no, verse 10 to 13, also saying.
Chapter 2, verse 10. Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. 11.
Exactly.
He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death. Verse 12. And to the angel of the church in Pergamo write, these things says he who has the sharp two-edged sword. I know your works and where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, and you hold fast to my name, and did not deny my faith, even in the days in which Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was killed among you, where Satan dwells.
Exactly. Joe, clearly, no, the text is making it emphatic to us. Say, there was persecution to the point of Jesus making reference to some of the people who were killed because of the persecution.
Antipas there, I'll go ahead straight.
81 the persecution at Ekosodo. And then Jesus is saying, say, what is happening? No, I'm aware of it. And I know your situation. I know what the devil is doing to you guys. But this is the point. Joe, stay calm. And I am coming. So that's the whole point of Joe, the text we are reading. I am coming. I am coming to take what? Vengeance on those who are doing these things to you. I'm coming to make sure, say, you, like, whoever is doing whatever to you, no, should know, say, oh, Joe. That is the point that is being said here. And Joe, in a way, Jesus is comforting the Christians, trying to make them feel, say, he is with them. He's still with them. Joe, the purpose of the book is to comfort them and to assure them, say, Jesus, Joe, or he is coming to their rescue. So what is and some then it will make sense whatever we are saying. Meaning say they make cannot say it will make sense. Yeah, Obeka say the church is being persecuted, the people are facing these troubles, and Joe, Jesus is giving them assurance of what he's going to do for them. Now, having said all that, then the idea of concealing the message in the book becomes necessary. Meaning, say, Joe, so I'm not ultimate point in say, if they are being persecuted, then the idea of concealing the message now or the air corner is important.
Yeah.
Because these people are persecuting them, and you don't want to send a message to let them feel more angry and persecute them all the more. It is more like Moses Sokaya echo a Pharaoh catcher de say, Esoma and Crofono. Meaning Sokaya or say Pharaoh Bufui Anna or say says Anna Aquawi Eka Cradia
More tax
Mokrano.
to their labor.
I'm giving you more work to do. And beside the more work now, Mobeno, or say Joe, and near man, I know was supply more no day a juma of the trap breaks, Why they? Why on fan money more mobile? Now they have to go and look for their own resources and still come and make the breaks. And the same quantity, I know make it will be the same quantity, the same quality. So. But this time around, no resources. So Jesus will not let a letter like this be known to Encrofono to increase the persecution that they were putting on Christians. So that's the idea. Therefore, he's going to conceal and never be ewo and woman more. Ebema Joe Obi Biara Obefang Mano. So onim those symbols now. Then until I say. Joe Intino, one thing I'm person with the transfer about symbol no so any. Let me project it to you. Menya obi a writer be a Joe 1 year. What they kind of saying or they all the passages that have been quoted from the Old Testament, or the nyinaa then Abba 80 all the passages are Old Testament more Joe the book of Revelation that is what he's projecting now. It's just interesting how we see I no now me person me say me to me a project ama what to me ehunu the person me kyerɛ na so let's see. Good. All the passages that are quoted in the book of Revelation from the Old Testament, any it will amount verses over chapter 1, verse 1, verse 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, jump to 12. Any Old Testament mua or eden or kunya sa asem no ede free. It offer Revelation, the book of Revelation. Yo, chapter 1, or how many verses?
Chapter 1,
Chapter 1, ekuta 20 verses.
Yeah.
Now here, out of 20 verses, no, Shemudodoa Joe, from Old Testament, right? About 13 out of the 20 verses, no. In fact, this guy projects say about best 500 references are from the Old Testament. Last week, me catch you say about 380, 348. But Obisu projection, you say 500.
500 references in the Old Testament.
Yes. The point is a Joe, if your Old Testament is weaker, you will not appreciate the book of Revelation. You need to know, and our other verses know, where from Daniel, where from Isaiah, where from Genesis and the book of Psalm, where from Exodus and the book of Isaiah, where Daniel 7, where Zechariah, Sa neighbor. That is
Judges,
how,
Ezekiel,
yes,
you should know your Old Testament.
yes, the book of Job, Hosea, you see, so all over, and Daniel is more quoted in the book, and that is, but I think says some of them maybe more similar things in our heading. What picky, not necessarily an allusion. John, you make it to the Old Testament. In Tina, some of them I will not pick them as a reference because it's more like we cancer and we so cancer and similar. But a bit more clearly, especially when it comes to the symbol side now, clearly is making reference to Joe, the things that are in the Old Testament. You need to see it to be able to appreciate asamna canon. That is just by the way. Now, Joe Yanko symbols, you started with numbers. Okay, we are going to start with the numbers that the Old Testament, the book of Revelation, epic. Those numbers, any you're kind of saying the connection in the book of Revelation. It started with the way Joe the question I mean Busa say what are the symbols, what does it mean? Symbols na a book of Revelation, Joe saying and then pana or pese or can ede echre you say it say nti codes and symbols, but we want to start with numbers, Joe, what started book no now kan the first thing ube miti and as a first number a jump out the number 7. The number 7 into verse 4 say as saying
Verse 4, chapter 1. John to the 7 churches which are in Asia.
So you see the number 7 right there. After the verse verse 10 no verse 10 no beka, but you have verse 12. Verse 12 is saying,
then I turned to see the voice that spoke with me. And having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the midst of the 7 lampstands, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the feet, and girded about the chest with a golden band. That's verse 13.
Verse 20.
Verse 20. The mystery of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, the 7 golden lampstands. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands which you saw are the 7 churches.
Exactly. So, Joe, the number 7, saying, because the book is going to use that number a lot. In fact, we're going to have the 7 bowls, the 7 trumpets, 7, 7, 7. So, what does it mean? Joe, the number 7 represents completeness. Complete. The use of the number 7 is shown consistently in scriptures. Completeness. Na mpɛ sɛ yɛkɔ Old Testament sɛdeɛ yo passage na wɔ hu no ɛwɔ hɔ no Genesis 4 yɛbɛba 2 Kings na afei about the book of Daniel. Yɛnkenkan ne yɛnhwɛ.
Genesis chapter 4 verse number 24. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, then Lamech 77-fold.
80 saa 7-fold the ɛkyerɛ sɛn. Ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛbɛ punish Cain a complete dia ɛna Lamech sɛ yɛbɛ punish no because wɔn nyinaa ayɛ bɔne. So Cain is going to be punished completely. Nyankopɔn ebe punish no to the punishment that he deserved. On spare be on man half of the punishment. Or the man complete punishment. That is the 7-fold na ɛwɔ hɔ no. Yanko ye ne yanko 2 Kings.
Chapter 5 verse number 10. And Elisha sent a messenger to him saying, Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored to you, and you shall be clean.
Exactly. It's a hey, and then one seven na Joe Walker. Also, uncle Jordan Munko wash how many times?
7 times.
Now, saa 7 na de ba de Joe. It has to do with completeness. Go into Jordan, wash completely. That is the point that the text is telling us. Wash completely. It's so we read it, na Joe, these things are. It should tell you what the text is talking about there. Yantuaso. Daniel.
Daniel chapter.
Oh, may year free, so sorry.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back. Daniel chapter 4, verse 16 and 23.
Verse number 16 of Daniel chapter 4. Let his heart be changed from that of a man. Let him be given the heart of a beast, and let 7 times pass over him.
Let 7 times pass over him. What does it mean? He's going to be in 7 years. Daniel was talking about Nebuchadnezzar. And I can say, Joe, Obeko Ako, your friend is saying, and Yankopon Bemana it's a saboa. Yes, and nipa ni obedane aboa te say normal aboa no. Nemum ne humbe foot te aboa. Obedi mo aduane. Old man say, so when? So 7 folds, 7 times has passed. So the text is telling us that God intends that there's going to be a complete time for Nebuchadnezzar to suffer because of disobedience to God. That is the same idea you borrow into the book of Revelation. Say 7 means completeness. Selfa bibi to say right to the 7 churches it can mean say not literally 7 churches in Asia Minor, but to the 7 churches I'll mention omudino, which is a representation of all the churches in the world, the completeness of the churches. The internet is Joe, you say, and 7 churches, so no more him Asia Minor.
Asia Minor.
But wham na persecuted church, no? The Roman Emperor. The Emperor, no, and a persecuted church, no. Now, Joe Emperor, no, Asia Minor,
No.
Baby. No, Italy. Rome. Assurance to be so Rome. So the persecution is going globally, baby. Assurance will be a persecutor. These 7 churches, is just a part to represent the complete body of Christ. All the churches, and as indicating to them, say, Christ is going to rescue them from the oppressor now or worry woman. So that is the number 7. You answer the next number. Number 6. Your number 6 represents something that is not complete. So yes, 6, 7 complete. And 6 what? A short of
7.
7. So you're going to see this number 6, it will appear twice in the book of Revelation. Twice. We'll see that in chapter 4 verse 8. Where chapter 4 verse 8 yankai.
Revelation chapter 4 verse number 8.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 living creatures, each having 6 wings, were full of eyes around and within. And they do not rest day or night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come.
So these living creatures, Joe, they were not God. They were spiritual, but they were not God. They were angels. What must I say? They were angels. Into they fall short of God's head, by one. But that is not the idea here. The idea we want to explain, chapter 13, the verse 18. That is where the symbol is being used. 13, verse 18. Also saying.
13, verse number 18. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. 666.
Exactly. It is a number of what? A man. And who is a man? A man is someone who is not complete. Nipa, short of completion. A nipa, we cannot boast as if say, Joe, we are short of that. And so the text is simply telling us, say, Joe, we are calculating the number of a man, and that number is 666. In other words, he is a man. He is a man. Do not be afraid of him. See, that is one thing that we see with Sir Ayiwe. Joe, that is the number 666. I'm trying to show you something quick for you to also consider. When we talk about symbols in the book of Revelation, these symbols are important in the sense that eno na ebe ma yate the book no kana se ene ensemo a ode ba yenhwe number 10. Number 10. They say this number no may also be another sign of completeness. It is another sign of completeness. Now, Joe, number 10 ankasa is used severally in the book by John. In the verse chapter 2, verse 10, no, or also saying.
Chapter 2 of Revelation, verse number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death.
Yes, you are going to have tribulation for how long? 10
days.
HSA. Bonsam, whatever he's bringing on you, no. When you man a crime and what say? In a way, though, you had to say Job or a man who know who you know. A man who no ban so Joe, day 1 by it, day 2 by it, day 3 by it, day 7. Not the number 4 no. Atran in 7 days. And then a hon and common starting on with the incubo. Job went through several months, if not years, of tribulation. But God allowed whatever that was going on to have its full course. God allowed it to go on to its full completion. Now, when someone can say, oh, when our barber stop me, yes, I can now. The same idea is being brought into the book of Revelation. Say, Bonsamo the move 12 years for how long? For 10 days. Not literally 10 days once I'm walking. Neighbor, he's going to persecute you to fullness. You're going to go through tribulation for that period. And you, and then also they should hold on. They should be faithful to the end. That is chapter 2, the verse 10. You have 17, verse 12.
Chapter 17, verse number 12 of the book of Revelation. It reads, the 10 horns which you saw are the 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast.
They receive what?
Authority.
For how long?
For 1 hour. As kings with the beast.
To Asumami Joe.
These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and kings of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful.
Exactly. So that is something that the Bible is telling us. Completeness. It's going to war with them completely. The same number 10, no? It appears in several places with multiples of 10. multiples of 10. You are going to see a number like 1,000. 1,000. It is a 1,000. Yes, 10. Extra completeness. And now perfect. Joe, 1,000 you're saying?
100 times of 10.
Exactly. Total completeness. Total completeness. So that is the idea, Joe. Yepese yete asye. Say when the Bible talks about these numbers sana Joe ebi echre ede ebayen. Yen read the number 12. Eno nso yebehia ewo yadesua mu. The number 12 is used to represent an authorized religion. Eti Joe obekwa kushia multiples of 12. Obekwa kushia 12 dankasa. Eti ubeshia number bit say the 12 tribes of Israel. Sa okotwa Joe enchire the actual 12 tribes of Israel. Yenhwe example. Chapter 4 verse 4 no. Also saying.
Revelation chapter 4, verse number 4.
Mhm.
Around the throne were 24 thrones.
Mhm.
And on the thrones I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white robes, and they had crowns of gold on their heads.
Mhm.
Verse 5. And from the throne proceeded lightnings, thunderings, and voices. 7 lamps of fire were burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God.
Mhm.
Before the throne there was a sea of glass like crystal, and in the midst of the throne and around the throne were 4 living creatures full of eyes in front and in the back.
Exactly. This book is telling us these 12 things, and that represents Joe the organized religion. I can want some organized religion,
Authorized.
authorized religion. So say adeɛ na mo yɛ no onyankopɔn ma kwan sɛ mo yɛ dɛ mo nyɛ ne saa. Onyankopɔn ma mo kwan sɛ mo betumi ayɛ saa. It ɔsom a ya authorize. Now, Joe, or you see the 12 tribes of Israel because they were given the worship and if you like the religion, God authorized it. But what I say? So that is the idea. The idea the Bible is giving to us. Say, Ono Yankopon authorized Joe the 12 apostles no so no authorized religion. We nye abosonsom. Name authorized. Why is it authorized? Because these apostles were teaching the things that Jesus has given to them. All right.
Okay, so what about, is it the same as the number 12 representing the people of God? Maybe like
Exactly. Exactly. The people of God. So the 12 tribes were the people of God. The 12 apostles were the people of God. And so when you see 12
the
now,
24 elders,
the
which is also a
24
multiple
elders,
of
now
12.
it's a 12 times 2. You see it. It is the idea.
144,000.
24,000. I said 12,000 times what? Times 12.
144,000. Yeah, it should be 12 times 1,200. 12 times 12,000. Yeah.
Yes. So you get your friend is saying 144,000. It's just a multiples of a year 12 and multiples of 1,000, giving you a complete number of God's people. 80, a complete number of God's people from the Old Testament time and the complete number of God's people in the New Testament time. It is 12,000, that which is God authorized a religion, and the completeness of all those who are in it. That is 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. Authorized religion and the complete number of people in it. And then times another authorized religion. So you get a complete number of God's people. That is number 12, Joe. Okay, chapter 7, verse 5 to 8. You know?
Chapter 7, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Of the tribe of Judah, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Gad, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Asher, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 were sealed. Verse 7. Of the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Levi, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 were sealed.
Where Joe, you besa baso, ye kwe no. My one thing I'm a person me pointing out, a man crofo hunu, and it's a Joe. I in crofo be yusu edi abeka asem say, oh, sa passage we represente a special people, be a chosen people from the children of Israel. But Joe, that's not the point. Because if a honor represented Israel, you do American one some you say there's a tribe do or one born within. Or tribes, no. It be or one born within. It you know, when you take it literally, then it becomes a problem. These are some of the things that na per se a twin for again ebaso. So that the text is not literal. It will find a literal. So just the 12 tribe of Israel and Obubwa, you will see say there's one missing. Internet there are missing so bending. It will not make sense. That is the idea, Joe. We want to let people know. Finally, in chapter 14, the verse 1 to 5, you know. 14, 1 to 5.
Then I looked, and behold, a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. They sang as it were a new song before the throne, before the four living creatures and the elders. And no one could learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. Verse 4. These are the ones who were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruit to God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth were found no deceit, for they are without fault before the throne of God. That's verse 5.
Exactly. So, Joe, this is just telling us, say, God's people, this, the number 12 is being used to indicate or represent God's people who are the authorized religion. Your Yamran number 1.5 or so.
One
And as
on
a
three.
1/3. One third, sorry. 1/3. And no, indicate a part. And as a portion of something that has been said. So, Okokushia, remember, say, or can be say, and I saw 1/3. Now, say, he's referring to a portion of them, not all of them. You hear 3.5. 3.5. you see that, and a year, a month, and days. Sa 3.5 no. So kaya minim semino ABI straight talk so. Jo ye omo ye premillennialists no. Almost say there's going to be rapture. Now rapture ne ba 3.5 years later no. Afi there's going to be war. The Armageddon war no be started. Just 3.5 years no more can. They are picking it from the book of Daniel and from the book of Revelation. Now I want to take a little time to explain this portion so that we will understand it. Joe, in the book of Revelation, the Bible talks about a year something or borrow from the book of Daniel. Now Daniel saw a vision about how Israel will return to their homeland from Babylon. They'll return home. Now, Joe, when they return home, what is going to happen is they will start building up their city. They will start living their normal life. And after that, there's going to be the coming of the Messiah. Ntombe Messiah no. But Joe, Messiah na enche omekuno. Omuku Messiah no. Then after so omekuno no. That is about 3.5, or can say 3.5 times. A time and a half. Now, the symbol is simply talking about broken. Something ya man kwama when dini juma enwi. 3.5, a half of 7. 7 represent completeness. 3.5 represent what? Incompleteness. So this is an idea from the book of Daniel. And most of the times it represents persecution, time of persecution. So Jesus is going to be persecuted and he's going to be killed. That is the idea that we get from the book of Daniel. Until we read Daniel 7, verse 25, you see that. Daniel 12, verse 7, you see that. So that idea borrowed into the book of Revelation. And all that the writer and I said God is revealing to us in the book, the issue of persecution. Number say pick all these passages and here read it through quickly. Revelation 11, verse 2. It is in the book, it is only talking about how the people are going to be persecuted within the time limit of Onyankopon.
Verse 2 and 3. 2, 3, and 9, 11. Okay, Revelation chapter 11, verse 2. But leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles. And they will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months.
The 42
verse number
months.
3.
42 months na then. Joe,
3.5 years.
How many months do we have in a year?
12 months in a year, and then we have 36 months in 3 years, and half of 12 will give us 6, adding to 36, giving us 42.
Exactly. 3.5 years or some, and in other words, this is an incomplete thing. They will be persecuted, but it will not be long. Reading so.
Verse 3. And I'll give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy. They will prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Verse 9. Then those from the peoples, tribes, tongues, and nations will see their their dead bodies 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be put into graves. Verse 11. Now, after the 3.5 days, the breath of life from God entered them, and they stood on their feet, and great fear fell on those who saw them.
Exactly. These are, like I said, these are representing a persecution, but Joe, for just a time. For just a time. And we need to see it and not try say Joe, yeah, the kwakwa rapture be or tell them person chena say over try say oh we the a rapture asemna oka rapture be beba na 3.5 years. No, that is not what the Bible is talking about here. Until say Joe you better say asem no, we will be making a lot of mistakes thinking say yeah can be a man so we are only saying things from our own ideas, but that's not what the Bible is talking about. But your kind of next test in my name moving.
Chapter 12, verse 6 and 14. Verse 6. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And
So
verse
it was 1,260 days, That also is how many days into year 3.5 a year. Check it. How many days do we have in a year?
365 times 3 will give us
365 times 3 is saying
1,095, I think.
365 days in your friend is saying a year. I mean, calculating out 365 years, 365 days times 3.5.
Yeah.
What am I saying?
Times 3.5.
No, like 365, 42 months, or the kind of 42 months. You are going to get 1,260 days.
Okay.
So that is the idea, Joe. The text is telling us, say, the Bible is only telling you these symbols to let you understand what we mean when we talk about these numbers. Joe, yes, you are number we and try say what the be fufrobi and a question and nine. Because the Bible is clear as to what exactly it is talking about. What amount picture no from Old Testament emu and a Joe or they and no etwaso. Yanko enim wo eye symbols no emu. Now you hear some of the
So
symbols that
with
question
the
you have to
number
go ahead.
7, with the number 7, I've also heard perfection. I'm looking at completeness and perfection.
It's the
It
same.
looks like they can be same in some
Yes.
aspect, but it's not the same.
So the idea of complete and I say perfect, and it's a complete and it's a like it's not work in progress. It is a finished good. Or what I say, it's not something you have to go and work on again. No, it is complete. It is finished. It is a perfect number. It in a way you can pick it to be perfect. In some sense, as we move on in our studies, we will come to a point where you see say a B represent perfection, but most of the time it is complete, Joe.
So it can either be complete or perfect.
Sure, you can get a complete number or a perfect number as well.
Okay, anyway, may that say.
All right, Tianko, the other symbols I'm a person quickly. Yanre symbols we mo.
Yeah, let's do it quickly. Your time that's
Okay. So yanre 7 churches. So 7 churches no. Medical Mount hint say these are churches in Asia Minor. And I'll mention all their names. But Joe, this is just a representation of the church throughout history. It is not just the 7 churches, and one or concern, but he's using them to represent the rest. Again, in chapter 4 to chapter 5 of the book of Revelation, John is taken into a room, and I said, a prumbi biye. And John said, then I looked, and behold, a throne was set into. John was brought into a room of a throne. And that room, Joe represent Onyankopon enim, the presence of the Father. And also in the presence of the Father, there's one like a lamb that was slain. And here the symbol, the lamb represent Christ. It's yakwe enim Joe, yebekwa kokenka Revelation chapter 21. Now I can, and I saw the bride of the lamb. You be who bride of the lamb? Lamb near bakupe. One was someone. Christ.
Yes.
Christ wants him. It's yes wako who lamb na okwaju bibi fufuru bia. It will be babe can't say that thing represent this. No, Joe. The Bible has already indicated who the lamb is. 80 chapter 5 verse 6 or Chreyen, it said the lamb is the root of David. Is the Lion of Judah, and that is Christ. After the seals, who the seals, the trumpets, and then the bowls. Joe, the seals, seals, no any trumpet, a series of judgment. Ever. Then the judgment is coming upon who? Upon the Roman Empire and those who were persecuting Christianity. So, Yehu anonso so a yemra say, and the Bible is going to reveal it in a certain way. It was a 7 seals, obe bieno, ebe reveali war, ebe reveali famine, ebe reveali death. Joni na symbolism represented the consequences of human beings are more rebelling against God and the punishment that will come upon them. You say, or maybe one of the things that politicians are all Ghana, or Mubasa or Mutaka, and say, yeah, national buffer, your national storage, or more depleting. Ghana, yeah, here, bubro, ye kohipik, any of those things. Yo, denti na mukasa. One of the most important thing or maybe I say, Satorenchem to minor. Now, obi antimi nkwa fom, obi antimi no enye aduane a, how would they eat? The government need to be able to have a buffer to care for them. Why? Because aduane, hunger will kill people. So if God is using hunger on people, and as Yankopon to hunger about, it just say he's talking about death. If Yankopon to war about, he's talking about wo. Yo, the last thing me and a quick name. So Abia next week we're talking about the dragon, the beast, the Babylon, Ninano. represented one thing, and that has to do with the city of Rome. The city of Rome. It Joe, na me wo symbols we are pese yehwe coins ahodo. Me ye quickly na ya pon. Look at this coin. Coin we Domitian 18 edaso. The coin be a front and back, remember? It's Domitian 18 edaso. Back no. Oche din ajo de na hu.
So I can see it looks
Asa
like
akwala bi meboa.
a baby.
And what's it at the round bi so meboa.
Yeah.
And na hu de na hu ha.
You can see stars, something like, is it?
I to say stars meboa.
Yeah, I had to say stars.
Na ne dodo e saying
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
exactly. 80 when Jesus in the book of Revelation chapter 1. So bekaya na Yesu kasa no cancer saying ono na ye Alpha and Omega. Na he walks within the 7 lampstand no, and he holds the stars in his hand. Joe dey ho asem no walk.
He holds all authority in his hands.
In Rome no, so here in the slide matro bibi I'm copy free in write up Queen write up be obituary. Joe Diva Caesar material. Na sa asem no mother of divine Caesar. Okay? Now oba animu a oba ekire na front of the queen no ade na watchro ha no. The watchro Domitian and ya wame ya nitine da so no. And wame ya tro se ono no. Ono Domitian no. He is God. He is divine. He is deity. Yo, Queen Nechi no. Queen Nechi no. The unhui eye sa Domitian ni ne ba boy a friend Jupiter owiye. When Jupiter died no, ose ne ba no senka ote ase akobe Caesar. Eti nyame na ewuo no. Na ode ne ba no a wowuo no se ne honhom his divine to wawudi enzo nwuye. And he's sitting on the world. To one who's out there around now, no. And he's holding the 7 stars. Just the complete powers no, and he's sitting on the world. Just he controls everything in the world. Your question, Sakwala we our wono, we divine ne papa yede.
Ni papa say divine or your God. Man, can say.
Exactly. So that is what you are seeing here in this sense. It is the book of Revelation now. Oh, kind of Jesus say, I hold the 7 stars in my hands, and it's the 7 lampstands. Jesus is telling us something. Say, it's not Domitian.
He is worthy of worship. He
exactly.
is the King of Kings. He has all authority.
It's not Domitian. That is the idea behind it. Offer the Roman queens a hold on a next week in Ebra and so aka home. You get to see, say, these people were selling the worship of emperor no, to be and Christians were supposed to be seen as you can say stubborn and not trying to accept our worship. No. And that is why they were facing persecution. Jo nyame adom next week no. Me no beto ye bo ase na ahwe from verse 1 eba no. Afei no ye bu no chapter by chapter. Ye be pick chapter bia na ya kan de ewo mu. De ehun hia se ye be kan no na ya kan verse ehun hia se ye be kan na ya kan nti no. We want to rather do chapter studies. Now, Joe, what I'm going to do is say, I will give you outline. No. What do I say? So I will tell you maybe our first 3 chapters. This is what is addressing. We read certain part to understand, and then we'll go to chapter 4. So that we'll be able to complete the entire book within a shorter time. And that is the idea. If you say you're going forward into next week, any subsequent weeks now, a day. So we have followed the discussion so far. Joe, and say God is telling these people the emperor is not God. I am in charge, and he's using symbols to communicate to them so that they will be able to understand. And going into next week, we'll do more with textual content in the book.
Thank you very much for being with us today. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to for you now. I said the symbols, ne interpretation of what it represents. Sempakeni is a church remover and a babua ama going forward into the book of Revelations. No, and another train in Tiasi in Nara. Aye, easy at the Amayan. Meda wase so waka ye ho ne sana se pa kani Shadrach so ye da wase wo mre a unyama ye ene yesua de ene so adesua na kwa wie ye de enso bo modern se obe share video no ene link no na afoforo so aba bi hu esua no Nyankopon o ade on all our platforms, on YouTube, on Facebook, and all other platforms. No, you have the video available for viewing. To try say obe share ama others Nyankopon shroud na on tene mu nkyerɛ ye nyina or the shrine that's a share bio na yatoa addition so into the book of Revelation. Meda wase say okay ho ene.